Welcome back to Geekshow Heldpesk.
Oh, vodka tastes like freaking hairspray.
That's what I always
Who
say.
is Lando? You sound different today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say baseball's awesome.
Oh,
do you
now
guys
it
want to
sounds
do
the
other
same.
boring things with me?
That's Lando for sure.
You
nailed
nailed
it.
that. I can't believe that. That is almost plagiarism or copyright infringement.
Uncanny. Welcome to Geekshow. Geekshow Helpdesk. I almost had Gadget Spot flashbacks because
Yeah.
it's the OG Gadget Spot crew.
Oh, yeah. Don't get used to it.
This is Geekshow Helpdesk, where we talk about tech, gadgets, and sciencey things. And boy, howdy, do we have some tech sciencey stuff this week.
We're
But
gonna dive deep.
before we do that, let us go and introduce our panelists. We got here Heimscheiser. You forgot the L. Heimschleiser. Scheisler.
So did you.
You having a stroke?
No, mine's in there.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's bad podcasting.
Oh, Heimscheiser.
There we go.
Heimscheiße.
You got there, Jan.
Heimscheiße.
I got there
Hi.
at the end.
I am Jaren. You can find me on Blue Sky at Geronius or on Geek Show Arcade. I'm one of the hosts that actually likes talking about video games.
Boom, roasted.
Boom, roasted.
What does Heimscheiser mean?
A cow's
Is
nose.
it know-it-all?
It should be for the listener to find out on their own.
Now, hang on. We don't want to draw any Elon parallelisms.
Yeah.
So maybe you just want to explain what Heimscheiser is.
The official one is Der Heimscheiße.
A home pooper.
Der Heimscheiße
Someone who
is
can
somebody
only
who
poop at
who
their
is
house.
who is only safe pooping at their house.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. All right. Hey, coming in number Sarlacc. It's Owen.
I'm full Sarlacc. I just devour slowly and don't move. So I'm just
You got
leaning
it.
into that.
That's it.
I'm just leaning into that this week. Follow me here, obviously. Come friend me on Halo, and I'll go offline. And I actively lurk on Blue Sky because if I don't, Lang calls me out, and then it's been a month, and then he's right, and I hate that. So I check that now.
All right. And back with us after quite a long hiatus, filling in for Lando, it's the man in his mid-30s, James.
In my lower mid-30s. Okay, that's a big
Lower mid-
correction right there.
that's
That's
34.
a bold-faced lie.
That's
Also,
30.
I need to introduce myself as hi, I'm James. I get old fast. That's why I only pop in every now and then.
Just enough to sprinkle in for some flavor, but you don't want to overpower.
Just enough of a reminder to
Right.
be like, oh yeah, Landon isn't that bad. Oh yeah.
Just enough a reminder to be like, oh, take care of yourself.
I feel like I'm transforming more and more into the early
butterfly.
stages of Owen. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
but
when we first started podcasting.
More like a
Bud.
slug then, not a butterfly.
Whoa, moths are important to the ecosystem too, my guy.
He said slug, not moth.
I know. I edited it on the
Isn't
fly.
the slug just a pre-moth?
Slug is a slimy cephalopod. I don't know
I'm
if
gonna hit
I made that
challenge
up.
on that. I'm
Your
not 100% sure.
thing is called Sarlacc. You're
He's not a
heading.
slug.
He's a
Is he
giant
a
slug.
You don't know what he is. He's just a mouth in the sand that eats
Yeah,
everything.
a giant slug
Well, I know now.
with teeth.
Well,
I feel like
okay.
Jaren's gaslighting you on that.
I think so too.
I don't
Why is
think he
Jared
knows
being
what
mean
a
to you, Owen? What did
Sarlacc
you
looks
do?
like either.
Dude, James, you got to catch up because it's every time. Jaren just hurts me daily.
Well,
He won't even
That's
put.
not
He won't. Even,
true.
he won't. He won't.
Pretty true.
You should have heard. You should have heard the phone saga of CES where he didn't even have my phone number in his phone, and said, "What?
That is a lie.
What idiot is texting me?"
I actually am
Anyway.
about halfway through that episode.
Let me tell you what, though. Let me tell you what. There's somebody that does have my number in their phone, and he's our host. His name's
Got that
Tony.
right. Yeah,
Wow.
I got your number in my phone. And
I do
apparently,
too now.
I
With a horrible
identify
picture
as
that I
a,
gave you myself.
apparently I identify as a Klugscheiser.
Klugscheiße. It's a
You
know-it-all.
are a Klugscheißer.
German
I
word
like
that
the
translates
first-
into wise guy or smartass.
You ever do that where you read the dictionary and you go, "Hey, there's two definitions here," and
I
I'm
like the
choosing
first
the
one.
top one.
Yep, because the
lost me at
second one
read.
says an informal term used to describe someone who acts as if they are very smart or know everything. thing is I don't act like I'm very smart. I am very smart, so it doesn't
That's
apply.
exactly. Sure, buddy.
He
Yep.
says very klugscheisserly.
Exactly. Classic Klugscheißer right
So
there.
anyway, rolling along. Emails? We got any of those?
No, we don't. We got
Okay.
James, though.
Yeah,
got
we do.
James.
And actually, that brings us to our first sponsor of the show today, because we have 5 new sponsors of the 2 shows that we have. Which one are we doing right now? Are we doing
Help
tech?
desk.
Oh,
Help
nice.
desk.
First sponsor of the show for Help Desk is the Apple Magic Mouse. Why settle for a mouse that actually fits in your hand when you can have one that's flatter than your ex's personality? Say goodbye to those pesky ergonomic curves and hello to a design so sleek it'll have your hand cramping in style. Who doesn't love flipping their mouse upside down while like a stranded sea turtle just to plug it in? Beeline straight to that. I don't want to read the rest. The Apple Magic Mouse, because sometimes style hurts.
Yeah, I think we get the
Sometimes
point.
you got to
All
make
right.
those cuts on the fly like that for the
If there's
customer,
any
James.
Apple product that would sponsor this podcast, that would be the one.
It would be the Apple Mouse.
I'm going to go ahead and just cut down the other ones right now while we're
That's probably not
and,
a bad idea.
and maybe give them a quick read through. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of reading things, we have a. What would you call this, Jaron? This has to do with DeepSeek and the massive explosion of AI everything this last couple weeks with China's DeepSeek stuff. And the
Didn't it
implosion
crash
of NVIDIa's stock.
Market stocks? Yeah.
18%. Almost. It was either at or over $600 million lost in
But
the on
people
the
just
Intel
bought
stock.
the dip, right?
Not as many. It's not up that
Has it
far
recovered?
today.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't. It's stabilized, I guess you could say, but it hasn't
And
recovered.
I have a
the
couple
re-
of questions about that before.
It was the largest drop in U.S. history for a company stock in
For a
one
single
day.
stock? Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't
and
it
that's-
bubbling a little bit though?
Oh yeah, for sure. But that's because it beat itself.
They had-
from
yeah,
the
they
last
had
time
no-
it had
right.
the largest
They
drop.
They don't have clear competitors with their stuff.
Yeah, that's like my first question. In a capitalist country, isn't this what we want? Like competitors in the space?
Yeah, but like inside the same
Well,
country.
the thing that makes this interesting is
Dang it.
NVIDIA isn't even specifically an AI
No.
company.
I mean, they're the
they
pit-
produce
they're the
hardware
benefit
that
from-
AI
Yeah,
is
they're
trained
the
on.
pickaxes, right? They're the
Right,
pickaxes
exactly.
and shovels. They're
Well, if
And
you,
so I can see why it would drop.
but they're using it now, though.
The
They're
reality
using it.
is, just because a new AI algorithm comes out, it's still going to be run on NVIDIA hardware.
But if the shovels you're using to dig a giant pit, suddenly you need less shovels to do it, the shovel
Well,
seller
that's-
won't be
yeah.
making as much money.
That's only one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is you can dig 3 times as fast now with the same amount of shovels.
also lowers the barrier of entry, so you have 3 times as many customers.
Yep.
When they
But
say
anyway,
that it's
that's-
open, when they say that it's open source, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, so that's what we want to get into is less about we're getting hung up on the NVIDIA stock stuff, which isn't the real, important part of the story. The important part of the story is just basically the fact that it exists and the way that it was released, right, Jaron?
Right. So DeepSeek, it's a AI startup based out of China, and as we know, we have trade restrictions for AI chips going into China, and they are claiming they made this at like 5% of the cost of other AI models. Hundreds of millions for your typical AI model. They released a reasoning model, and they claim it was only $5 million to train. Now, there's been a lot of skepticism over that. Some people say, well, they had to have skirted over the trade restrictions. And, of course, NVIDIA is denying that because they don't want to get into trouble.
Right. Yeah.
Or they're denying it because it's true. Who knows? Other people are saying, well, they had to buy a lot of GPUs to train the previous models, which trained this new model. And, yeah, that's probably true. But it's open source, so the model itself can be used by anyone, but the training data is closed, so they use their own training data for that. And I wonder what's in the training data because
Oh, this is where I have so many questions.
yeah, it's from China where they don't really care about IP infringement or
Yeah, intellectual properties
At
or
all.
copyrights
Like-
Yeah.
or
Of course they don't. Like, and they have the ability to scrape the entire internet for free. I mean,
yeah.
Reddit closed down and everything, but
Still, I mean that takes time and resources to be able to scrape the entire internet. In my experimentation with it, it doesn't seem like they scraped all the IP that they could have. But it was one of my obscure hipster bands, so it didn't really know what I was talking about. Which
nobody
is
knows
fine.
what you're talking about with those.
to
But
be
it's
fair,
readily available
To be
on
fair, you know, NVIDIA or OpenAI stuff, it had Reddit to start with, right? Like before the APIs got closed down, it had Reddit, Facebook, it had
Yeah,
all
but
those other chat sites before they
This is less
cut off the
about-
flow.
This is less about that and more about the fact that this new algorithm for training is so much more efficient
True.
than
yeah.
anything else that's out there. It went from a token of like a token size of 48, I want to say, down to 8 for this new one. So you're getting like 6 times more performance.
How do you measure that performance though? Like, how do they measure how effective an AI is when the training data is closed and also like comparing it to OpenAI?
Well, no,
and
they had to
whatever?
they released the white papers for it because it's open source.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And like
So-
like Tony said, the broader questions here from this is, boy, how fast was it for China to catch up here? Is OpenAI really a sustainable business if competitors can suddenly train something up that's just as good for only $5 million? Is AI been commoditized already? Like, if it has been, companies like OpenAI are not gonna really grow
for
that much bigger, right?
And for
Especially
$5 million,
when
and for $5 million, like it doesn't even have to be as good as OpenAI. You could just
Right, it's so much cheaper.
you could just scale that and put in
Yeah.
half the price that you would into something with OpenAI's learning training modules and come up with something just as good.
And,
Well,
and
it's-
is this going to go the way of like operating systems, where in the 90s you paid quite a bit to upgrade to Windows 95, Windows 98?
Cutting
Now
edge is
it's-
always more expensive, right?
Now it's basically free. Is AI going to go the same way? Is it just going to be a free commodity in the future?
Well, and that's actually right now. That's the question because you can use DeepSeek or DeepThink on DeepSeek for free, and
Right.
it's as good or slightly better than OpenAI's Chat GPT-01.
I guess this
and
brings
that's a-
into
and you have to
play
pay for that.
ethical. I guess this brings into play ethical constraints then, right? Like blood diamonds, kind of like, I know it's not quite apples for apples with blood diamonds, but like, is the with
Not
them
at
not
all.
saying with
Not
it,
even
well
close.
with them not saying where they're getting the data, the illegal part of it. They're not saying where their training data come from.
Nah,
They
man,
didn't- they're
come
not
on
saying
now.
they're not saying how they
The U.S. AI stuff doesn't share that information either, or when they do, that's just
they have
clearly,
to.
it's just-
OpenAI, you
it's
have
just
to
clearly. Oh yeah, we got this from the internet.
You exactly.
scraped the
No, you
internet.
have. They have to show their sources because people want to be able to opt out because of copyright laws now. so
but
they
how
have
long
to.
were they doing
Now
it
they do,
before?
but not in their previous models.
Well, that's what I'm
which they
saying.
have
We're
the data
talking.
from,
Yeah, we're not talking about previous models. We're talking about right now models, and also how they
which
get the
use
chips.
previous models to help train up.
Sure, but we're talking about now models. I guess the dark ages of AI when they could do whatever the Wild West, but now they have restrictions and rules in place that China doesn't have. So you got to wonder about that. You also have to wonder, like, how did they get those? How did they get around that embargo? And you know, China's notoriously
Well, it can
known
also be
for taking
it can also be
hardware and cloning
argued
it.
that because of our restrictions on China, they were forced to innovate. We forced them to go down this path.
well,
to
true
That's a fair point.
unintended
find
consequence,
much,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I
Because
don't
if
like
you
that.
have to
I don't
work
like
with
that. How I
less.
feel it. Yeah, I don't like how that feels.
Yep. Another problem
The
is
authors
we're
of our own demise.
Yeah.
similar to TikTok. We're sending all of our data to China now.
Well, and
Yet
that's the
again.
thing. That's another very good point, Jaron. You know how TikTok got a lot of our stupid data, social media stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now people are using DeepSeek with like real questions about real things. And
Yeah,
just,
like Google, right? Like
Yeah,
this is a
exactly.
Google replacement.
just all that,
Not
all
quite
of that is
there
going
yet.
straight to Chinese servers.
Have you guys not replaced Google with Chat GPT yet?
No,
No, absolutely
Not quite.
I still don't. There's too
It's
many
faster.
instances of it bringing back incorrect information, and then I have to go look it up anyway. So I just look it up at the beginning.
Here's why I haven't. Because ChatGPT rambles worse than I do.
Come on now.
And so I'll be like, hey,
Them's
what's
fighting
this?
words.
I'll be like, hey, what's this? And it'll be like, blee, blah, blah, blee, blee, blah, blee, blah, blee. Alternately, blee, blah, 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 blee, blah, blah. And if you need help with that, blah, blah, blah. If you want any modification, and I'm just like, and it keeps scrolling, so you can't, like, stop it. I'm like, oh,
And reasoning
okay.
models are even
Never
worse because
mind.
they will tell you how they got to that answer, and like it
Is DeepSeek
it's
a
pages.
reasoning model?
R1. So they have two models right now: the V3 and R1. R1 is a reasoning model,
Oh.
which supposedly is as good as OpenAI's reasoning model.
Yep.
I'm in. I mean, I'll try it. My reservations aside on ethics, I'm interested
What
enough to try
reservations
it.
do you have about
Ethics, I stand firm on copyright infringement
What?
and IP.
Really? Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah,
Are we recording this? Just so
yeah.
we can play it back later?
it's
Just making
it's
sure.
firm, publicly.
Yeah. Sure it is,
Outward.
buddy.
You love the movie studios so much that you would not infringe on their IP.
That was so funny.
Ever.
That was so funny.
Just need to get out there and say that because I feel like I've been criminalized by Jaron multiple times. So this is just me. This is just me swatting back. I stand for the. I fight
Streisand
for the.
effect right here.
I fight for the user.
It's a version of revisionist history that I like to see. Mm-hmm. I like 2025 Owen. He's full of a lot of gumption. Gives me a
got
lot of
that
hope for the
gumption.
future.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, it's really interesting to see what's happened in the last week and a half. So I mean, DeepSeek stuff. They started releasing information about it, I think, like 3 weeks ago, but it really just all came to a head in the last couple days.
So has Muskie or Altman come out and said anything about it? Have they?
Altman has.
Altman said, "That's really impressive."
yeah.
That was about it.
Yep. He's thinking, well, we
Zuckerberg
got
is
to
apparently
hurry up.
scrambling.
War
his-
room.
Well,
was it kind of a high
it's-
tide, like the tide effect? Did Facebook's stocks
I
drop?
don't think
and-
Zuckerberg cares because Llama is open source, and this is based on originally Llama.
Well, I think if I was him and I was putting together a war room for this, I would be looking at it and saying, how can we integrate this new open source stuff into our
Right.
open source stuff?
True.
You know
Right.
what I
Like
mean?
if you right. Exactly. There's
So-
a danger though using. Have you guys had to go through audits before, security audits, where you've had to answer questions about using open source software?
I've been the
Oh, yeah.
reason that they've done audits.
Like, but like that doesn't that raise concerns? Like, do you think Zuckerberg's thinking, I want to integrate this open source thing in here, but if we change it to make it more secure or to make it private, it violates the open source nature of the model, of the licensing model. So interesting
know.
implications to think about.
Yep.
Yeah, and I had DeepThink, which is the reasoning model of DeepSeek, come up with this whole podcast script that me and Tony were going to read, and I was going to make Owen feel really confused, but Tony didn't go for it for some reason.
What? I said we were totally going to do it. And you said you were going to be, I said, you want to be the guest? I'll be the host. And you
Yeah,
said,
the host starts.
Oh, we were just supposed to go right into it?
Yeah, we're supposed to go right into it.
Oh, I totally misunderstood. That's on me.
You're like, you're the guest, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be the guest. And so I was waiting for the host to start, but
Shoot.
whatever.
Would you want to do it
Shoot,
anyway?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
No, it's
hurt
been
me
lost.
anyway.
I think we should. I think we should.
Okay.
Because this
whatever.
was generated by DeepSeek, right?
Yep.
With
Okay.
the point of doing what? Give us
Well,
the
Describe
we
what
go.
it is.
Oh, okay.
All right, so today we're talking about AI tools that actually make you smarter, not just faster at Googling. You know how most AI chatbots feel like a quick fix? You ask a question, get an answer, and that's it. Well, what if I told you there was an AI designed to teach you how to think and not just hand you a solution?
I hate it
That's
already.
DeepThink. And it's like having Socrates in your pocket. Let's break it down.
Shills. Oh,
DeepSeek
shills.
is built by DeepSeek, and it's not your average chatbot. Imagine you're stuck on a problem, say coding a new feature for your app or understanding a dense philosophy text. Instead of just spitting out an answer, DeepSeek walks you through the process. It asks you questions like, what's the core issue here? Or have you considered this angle? It's less of a search engine and more of a mentor. Here's the cool part. It forces you to slow down. Let's say you're a student tackling calculus, Instead of giving you the derivative formula outright, DeepSeek might say, okay, let's visualize this function. How does it behave as x approaches 0? It guides you to connect the dots yourself, and it's not just for academics. Think about a startup founder weighing a risky decision. DeepSeek could help them map out scenarios, challenge assumptions, and even play devil's advocate. It's like a Swiss Army knife for critical thinking.
Boy, Jaron, you are such a shill. Oh, no, that's not what it says. Wait, so it's training your brain instead of replacing it? How is that different from ChatGPT or Gemini?
Exactly. Tools like ChatGPT are great for quick answers, but they're like fast food. You're fed, but not nourished. DeepSeek is the farm-to-table meal.
We're losing listeners.
It's designed to build your problem-solving muscles. For example, if you ask it, why did my marketing campaign fail, James? It won't just list generic reasons. It'll dissect your strategy step by step. Let's analyze your target audience first. Did you validate your pain points? What data supports your approach? It's methodical, almost like therapy for your ideas.
Yes.
This next line. Love that. So who's using this? Is it for
Love
nerds
that.
only?
Ha! Nerds, professionals, curious minds, anyone who hates surface-level thinking. Owen, I've heard of teachers
Yeah.
using it to
Pass.
design lesson plans, engineers troubleshooting systems, even writers untangling plot holes. J.J. Abrams. It's for anyone who wants to go deeper. And there's the kicker. The more you use it, the better you get at asking the right questions. It's upskilling you while you work.
Oh, it did not say upskilling.
Did you ask it? You told it to put
Don't
upskilling
use
in there.
Upskilling?
I did not. I did not.
Oh.
All right,
Jared.
here's my next line. Okay, but does it take forever? I'm impatient.
Fair. It's not a magic 8-ball. You'll invest time, but the payoff is ownership of the solution. Instead of copying an answer, you'll understand it. And that's how innovation happens. DeepSeek is for people who care about why something works, not just what works.
No, that's not true at all.
Here's
You
my
got more,
last
Tony?
line. Yeah.
Oh.
Mind blown. So where do folks try this brainy sidekick?
Head to DeepSeek's platform. I'll drop a link in the show notes. Trust me, your future self will thank you.
This is terrible.
This is,
I can tell you it
if
will
they
not.
don't support the show, just all your other shills, James can go. You don't need
James.
to shill any more sponsors.
Who is this sponsored by, James?
Oh, you know what? It's a very, very special one, and actually I'm really happy that we landed them. HP printers. Are you tired of peace, tranquility, and a life free of unnecessary frustration? Well,
Yes.
we have the perfect product for you, the HP printer. That's right. Why settle for a device that just works when you can have one that makes you question where you put your gun? The HP printer is here to turn your mundane tasks into a reason to use your outside voice. Out of ink? Cool. It'll refuse to print black because cyan is low. Need a simple document? Great. But first, let's spend 45 minutes updating the firmware you didn't ask for. So if you're ready to hate yourself, grab an HP printer. HP printers, perfectly imperfect.
I thought you were going to
Can
shorten.
confirm.
That was
confirm.
shortened. I took a paragraph out.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
And let's not forget the joy of setting it up.
No,
Who doesn't love
no,
spending?
no,
we're
we
good,
believe-
we're
I
good.
believe you. I believe you.
Great
Please
sponsor. Great sponsor.
Landed
Thanks,
HP printers.
stop. Thanks, HP.
Hey, if they're paying the
printers.
bills, whatever.
All right.
Yep, we get free toner at factory price.
Then it's not free.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
No questions,
this-
sponsors.
For 5 minutes last week, everyone thought Blu-ray was actually dead. That the death knell had tolled, and Blu-ray was donezo. Because on last Thursday, Sony Japan announced it will no longer manufacture or sell Blu-ray discs in its home market. What people didn't realize at first was that they said blank Blu-ray discs in its home market. So apparently in Japan, it's still very common to burn Blu-rays to save data, archive data and stuff like that, or make it on a disc to give it to your friend or whatever instead of, I don't know, FTP or Dropbox or a thumb drive. Anyway, Sony announced that they're not going to be making those recording medias anymore, or not just Blu-ray, but also mini discs. Did you know they were still making mini discs?
What?
I would have been so happy, but now I'm so sad because they're not doing mini discs anymore.
I know.
Do they
I just liked knowing
specifically
they were there.
Did they specifically mention blanks? Because the way that their press release read was that they're discontinuing the manufacturing of those
Blank
of the,
discs.
of which
They're
are used.
They're still gonna no. You don't. No, the Blu-rays that you buy like with a movie on them, they're pressed. They're not burned.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe not pressed, but they're manufactured in a different way than burning a Blu-ray disc. So yeah, it was only blank stuff.
Does they mention? I guess I didn't read I didn't see the full thing, but the way I heard it was that their
That's what this
press release
article
was very confusing.
That's what this article I'm linking to explains that. And for the first like 5 articles I saw about this, it was exactly that. Everyone was like, "Oh, Blu-ray's done. They're not gonna be able to buy Blu-ray movies anymore." But no, it's just for blank media. So there you go.
Some
Clear that
American
up.
translator. Some American translator had a really bad day.
It's probably ChatGPT. All right. Let's see. Oh, let's talk about. I guess we'll talk about it. I don't like supporting them, but Tesla has a new redesigned Model Y.
Yeah. They similar to the Model 3 redesign. They take design cues from that. It doesn't really change the innards much. Similar interior, except it has a screen in the back for the chillin' or adult children, whatever. But that's about it. Yeah, it's
supposed to have a better front-facing camera, right?
Yeah. So I wish they'd iterate on battery tech.
That's what I was thinking too when I saw this. I was like, nothing for the battery, huh?
Yeah. At this point, I kind of hope they get passed by other companies, and they may. Who knows? The rumors of solid-state batteries and like Chrysler EVs in 2026, I don't think it's going to happen, but still.
Not just Chrysler, Toyota
Yeah.
is saying they're going to have one. Mercedes.
I got some more space news that's Tesla adjacent.
I'm not quite done yet,
Oh,
Owen.
Well, you were stop talking. Sorry, Jared.
The Jaren pause
What?
like that.
There it is.
Just like
Shut
that.
up. Anyway, for some reason, this design works better for me in the Model Y than it does in the Model 3. I just like it better in the Model Y. I like the old Model 3 design better, but anyway, that's just my little opinion. That's all.
Yep, there you go.
So we found a new asteroid. It's 2018 CN41.
Saw this.
Actually, no. It's that Tesla Roadster that they launched into space in 2018, right? Or was that 2016?
That's still up there?
Oh yeah. It was
man.
supposed to go into an elliptical orbit, like
And
around the
it's
sun
gonna
and
stay
stay
there.
out there, but they miss very SpaceXy. They miscalculated the coordinates and everything, and now instead of going wide out, instead of going to Mars and kind of looping around, it was supposed to be an elliptical orbit that went around Mars and the sun. It went way out to the asteroid belt. So the space agency has removed the new designated asteroid, and they're like, "Oh, this already has a spatial object
Identifier or something.
what are they? I can't remember what they call it. I'm having a brain fart. But yeah, identifier. So there you go. It's the old Tesla Roadster strapped to a rocket. It's floating around in space still.
All right.
It's first come, first serve on that model, so if anybody makes it
Yeah.
up there.
It's theirs.
That's theirs. You can have it. Drive it home.
Plant your flag
right
and
off the
claim
lot.
it. Yep.
Starman is what that's called. Anyway,
Well, this next article file under what are we even doing anymore? Google has said they will be honoring Trump's change of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America
didn't understand this.
and the change of Denali in Alaska to Mount McKinley. Why?
Why is this?
Well,
You know when you go to a
Mount
birthday party
McKinley.
for a little kid and they have some pretty weird requests?
Bingo.
Mount
they
McKinley
s-
kind of makes sense because that's within the United States, and I mean Obama changed it in 2015 or whatever, and so, I mean, it makes sense that your own country can change the name to its own
Okay,
landmark,
that's fine.
Yeah.
but
But the Gulf of Mexico?
it's shared.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
But it's the Gulf of Mexico. Here's the thing. This is like putting a contact in your phone as something else. Like, Owen. But instead of saying that, like, really cool guy. Like, are we doing this because Trump suggested it? Why are we doing this?
So
A lot
Why
of
is
revisionist
Google-
history today.
Google says that they use the name. Oh, this will only take place in the
if
US.
it's your US, so like nobody else is gonna see it this way. This is
Yeah, they'll
just
see it as the Gulf of Mexico.
This is
But it's
just-
because they pulled their data from the Geographic Names Information System in the U.S. government, or at least they try to keep it the same as that, and that's what was changed officially by the presidential decree. So there you go.
Can we change it back and protest? Can we
not-
choose
this
not
is-
to?
Not, you can't go backwards. Don't dead
Because
name
this
it.
is
This-
this is not this is not dead naming, James. This is the opposite.
It's what it
I
wants
wanna-
to identify
this is-
as, or it's
we're
what
giving
somebody
we're
else
giving
wants it to
them we're
identify as.
giving them slave names, and I want to not give them slave. No. Okay. Dang it.
Nope.
Don't
Bingo.
Joaquin Phoenix this.
There's a bingo for you right there.
Unreal. This is more like when the Delta Center name got changed in Salt Lake,
Oh, that's a
To the
much better
Viv.
example.
and eventually it came back to being the Delta Center, though. So hopefully cooler minds will prevail as time goes on, and it'll just go back to being the Gulf of Mexico. In the meantime, as I said on Blue Sky, I refuse, and I will call it the Gulf of Central America.
Nice.
Is what
I'm just going to call it the Gulf of Owen and see what happens.
a nice libertarian stance there. I'm not choosing either side. I'm gonna call it my own.
the Gulf of Central America. All right. This, man, never saw this coming. Apparently the Pebble is coming back. The watch. The Pebble.
Yeah, I love the Pebble Watch so much.
It was so cool.
It was, and it was made by Eric Mijakovsky, who was eventually bought out by the company that Google
It was
bought.
Fitbit, wasn't
Fitbit.
it?
Yeah.
And
And
then
then so
Fitbit was
Google
purchased by
Google
Google.
ended up owning it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Eric Mijakovsky, he ended up founding Beeper, which was the Beeper Mini of Beeper Mini fame, where they were trying to emulate iMessages on other platforms. Well, Beeper actually has a lot of other cool stuff. That's what I use for my messaging app because it combines Slack.
Do you still
Signal.
use it?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Oh, Jaren has a beeper.
Yeah, it combines all the major messaging apps into one app that isn't just a web view. It's an actual messaging app. You know, it's like Adium or the other chat apps of old that used to combine everything. Anyway, that was sold to Automatic, and so Eric left, and he still wears his Pebble watch, by the way, after all these years. And he was just pinging Google, hey, can you open source this, please? Can you open source this, please? And finally, Google agreed. So
Fine, just shut up.
they open sourced the Pebble smartwatch OS, and the Pebble founder it has plans on making another smartwatch.
Cool.
They have
Yeah.
a non-trivial amount of work to find the replacements for the stripped out pieces of code. That's what it says here. So you gotta.
So
Yeah.
Google or Fitbit stripped out some of the
They
code.
stripped out the code for patent issues to throw in their other stuff, and so these
interesting.
guys have a lot of work to try and find replacements for
The
that.
main draw of Pebble, though, it wasn't a touch-based watch OS, which is honestly kind of difficult to do when you're trying to work out or just do other things. You just want to push a button. It's more button focused, and the main draw is the batteries lasted forever because it was a
Yeah.
e-paper screen,
Yep.
Yeah.
and just really efficient at what it did.
Yep. So we'll follow that and see if anything actually comes out of it in the next while here. Let's see. Owen, tell us about Project StarGate.
Project StarGate, baby. Stolen, literally admitted they took it from the show. Project StarGate is more AI, so don't get.
It's not
Yeah,
actually
okay.
fun. You know,
It's actually
space portals.
No,
it's
no.
AI stuff.
It's AI. I mean, it's.
Is it an American-based AI?
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it
So
is.
So you're
instead
gonna like
of-
it, Owen.
instead
You're
of-
gonna like it.
So we're throwing
Yeah.
money at the problem.
Instead of figuring out how to make it more efficient, we're just going to throw more money at it.
I feel so. This happened. This happened pretty close to the DeepSeek bombshell. So I don't know how. I haven't seen how this is holding up. But basically, Project Stargate, Altman and somebody from SoftBank and Oracle were all standing by Trump
Microsoft.
as he talked about how this is a great idea. Microsoft, yeah, this is a great idea, and it's gonna basically redesign and reinforce the infrastructure of AI in America. And so Project Stargate, despite its name, is nothing to do with stars or gates to other worlds, but they are building. They seek to build many more data centers across the U.S. Compatible of facilitating more and more AI models, to the tune of 500 billion is what they're doing. They've got
less than what Nvidia lost in market
Yeah.
cap just
Exactly.
yesterday.
That is
Okay.
true.
yeah. So, ouch.
Put
So
that in
they
perspective.
So they've got OpenAI and it looks and I think SoftBank has already said they're dropping 19B.
So
each.
did you see what old Muskie had to say about this?
I loved it. So Musk gets on because he has to because he's got to throw some
And he
shade.
wasn't included, by the
Yeah,
way.
he was not
This.
included. Now remember, him
Wow.
and Altman have some
some beef.
I
history.
thought
yeah,
him
they
and
got
Trump
some
were
beef.
friends, though.
I know. That's what makes this so funny.
It's weird because Trump is playing both sides here with Altman and Microsoft, but so Musk gets on X and he says, yeah, this isn't gonna happen. I know that SoftBank doesn't have more than 10 billion, and I have that on good authority.
yeah.
And that's all he said. I have that on good authority. And
Oh, they didn't put the reply here.
yeah, so he says they don't actually have the money. SoftBank has well under 10 billion secured. I have that on good authority. And Altman's
Sounds like
response
an
is down here.
ex-girlfriend being like, she looks fat in
Exactly.
her Instagram photos.
Yep.
So he said on Wednesday, Altman replied on X that he genuinely respects Musk's accomplishments and said he thinks Musk is the most inspiring entrepreneur of our time. Altman also addressed Musk's claims about not having the claimed money amount, saying, "Wrong, as you surely know.
Wrong.
Want to come visit the first site already underway? This is great for the country. I realize what is great for the country isn't always what's optimal for your companies, but in your new role, I hope you'll mostly put us first." So he throws
He
some
just
shade.
high-roaded him, rode in on his high pony, and just,
Yep.
Well,
you know, Musk, I think you do a lot of good things, but if you were to just change that attitude,
just be a team
Yep.
player, bud. You missed the article. Missed one of the other replies. One of the other replies to this was Satya Nadella from Microsoft, who said,
Oh.
"I got 80 billion here, ready to
Yeah.
go, committed this year."
So some of the other critics here are like, look, OpenAI loses 5 billion a year. They're not profitable. They're losing 5 billion a year. So what are they going to do? Drop 19 billion and then go to 10 billion more in debt and have to raise money? Like they're just like, this doesn't.
isn't that like tech companies' MO though? Isn't that
OpenAI
how
will
they
raise
operate?
another.
At the time, yeah.
So it says, OpenAI loses 5 billion in losses in 2024. He says this is completely ridiculous. OpenAI will raise another 19 billion in debt equity. And then this company loses 5+ a year. So what? They raise 19 billion for StarGate, and then what? They have to raise another 10 billion just to survive. So it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of doubt
Chinese
going
company's
on.
profitable,
The
unlike OpenAI, DeepSeek.
well, you do it for 20 times less. I don't know what the numbers are. But anyway, so yeah, Stargate. I was pretty bummed. I thought it was going to be portals and something, but turns out it's just a bunch of data centers hosting more AI. Altman is racing towards AGI. He believes that will.
Kill us all.
Yeah, he says.
Thinks it'll save us all.
Nope.
But
Yeah.
in reality, Jaren's probably right.
Yeah, so he wants to. He says that this will end basically all
Human life.
work.
On Earth.
Any yeah. The most I want to say the words he has in here because it's pretty funny.
Say the words, Owen.
It will outperforms humans at most economically valuable work. So
Well, that sounds bad for us.
just not. You know that whole they took our jobs thing.
Yeah.
That's about to get a lot more real. So
I was waiting for that.
Jeez. All
Anyway.
right. Well, there you go. We'll follow that story as it unravels.
maybe
over the
it does
next
turn
while.
into space travel. You never know.
This is just your daily reminder to spend 10 minutes talking to your vacuum every day. That way, when the robots take over, it'll stick up for you.
It'll
No,
like
don't worry,
you.
I do that anyway.
He's
I
not
love,
so
I
bad.
love my
No,
technology
Jared,
too much.
and especially vacuums, Jared.
Oh yes.
Big fan of the vacuums.
Big fan.
Yep. All right. Let's talk about. Oh, after all of this that's gone down in the last week, it really kind of overshadowed Samsung's Galaxy
Oh.
phones.
I totally forgot about that.
You
'Cause
see what I
they're-
mean?
Everybody
There's
did.
nothing new about them.
That's the thing.
Here's
So I have a-
another device.
I have a link here to Samsung's page talking about what they announced, and this isn't even a very good page. Anyway, new phones: the Galaxy S25, Galaxy S25 Plus, or it's bigger, that's all, and the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and they look basically identical.
I feel like they should have dropped a pallet of TVs off a building to get into the news cycle. Like I kind of
You would have
expect
had
that.
to,
I
you know?
expect that at this point.
Yeah.
So similar to iPhone updates lately, and just like every other manufacturer, it's
Just iterative.
very iterative. Faster
The,
processor, some better cameras.
Yep. I was going to say the big change is on the Ultra, there's now a 50, or is it a 40 megapixel wide angle.
Yeah. So I feel like with technology
lens.
slowing, in this aspect where it's just iterative, it's becoming good to update every 4 years. You know, like if you're 4 years behind, this is a really good upgrade.
The only
you know?
problem is battery longevity.
Yeah.
Mm,
your
Batteries
battery's
don't
not
last
gonna
that long.
Last that long.
Mm.
It's a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera. And then the other thing that was kind of cool too is it has the new Corning Gorilla Armor 2 glass for the screen.
That more hardness.
Yeah, they
Or-
claim more durable. They claim that it can be dropped from head height onto concrete and be okay.
I really like the industrial design of Samsung's phones.
think
They're
we
good,
I think-
but they didn't change from last year.
I think
Right,
we.
right.
I
They
think
didn't
we.
change
is-
one bit. I still like it.
It still looks good for sure.
I think we
I
write
just
to them and get a couple of them for James kids to test if they're saying they can
That
the screens
durability?
can't be screens
Good
can be
luck.
broken.
From what I've seen, I just like the Google experience better, though. I don't like the multiple apps on Samsung phones that do the exact same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I'm a purist in that way with Pixel now. I prefer that stripped down Google OS.
We all
Not
settle
nearly
once we
stripped
get to a
down as
certain
it used to
point in
be.
life.
I know it's sad. I
What,
have the
what was your
Pixel
stripping
7,
joke,
so-
James? I want to hear it.
No, it's fine.
Oh, come on.
Oh, the one other thing was actually a downgrade. They took Bluetooth out of the S Pen in the Ultra, so it doesn't have Bluetooth anymore. Apparently, that's because
connecting
nobody
with?
used it.
What was it?
I'm
what
sure
was
those
it?
5 people are really bummed, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like
How does
people
it
that
connect?
want
It's
an
just a
IR
stylus?
blaster still. It's
Hey,
like those
that's a little too
people.
close, Tony. Tony, come on.
The Bluetooth in the pen was so you could do things like set the camera up in front of you on something and stand back and use the pencil.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty
to
cool if I
take the
didn't have a
picture.
watch to do
That's
that.
the thing. Like, there's
Yeah.
other ways to do it. So they ripped it out of there. But anyway, there you go. That was the Galaxy. They teased their super slim Galaxy S phone concept, and it was very slim, but it was just
They teased a concept? What year
Yeah.
is this? 2010?
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't really anything else. And of course, Galaxy AI. Samsung has shoved AI into everything they could this last year, and none of it looks appealing at all.
Well,
AI has just become like a synonymous with like basic function. It's like I've said before, like AI,
Yeah.
like if Excel came out today, they'd be like, it's powered by AI. These cells,
Yep.
they do
well,
stuff.
it is. They have AI in Excel now.
That's what I saw at CES too. Was all their products, all their washer machines,
All
their
AI.
washing machine, everything was AI.
To
I
be
did
fair
appreciate-
to
I was going to say I did appreciate
Samsung,
one thing.
though,
about Samsung's booth. We got to see Steve Aoki.
No,
That
that was
was-
Panasonic.
Oh, was that
That was
Panasonic? Okay, yeah, we got to see. It was
The guy
Panasonic.
from Linkin Park?
We forgot to mention that we saw Steve Aoki in a very small crowd.
Yeah,
that's neat.
that was
Do
actually
his thing.
really
That was
cool.
pretty
I
cool.
got
saw half of his face. The other half was covered by a wall.
yeah,
Wait, is that the guy
it's a
from
short-
Linkin Park, or is that the guy that throws the cakes?
He throws the cakes. He's done some collabs with Linkin Park.
Yeah.
So
Jaren didn't get that good of a view just because he's short, but I got
Yeah.
a pretty good
Yep.
view.
I know, I was gonna say I saw everything.
Yep.
But wouldn't have happened without
I
Jaren
saw
telling us to
it.
come
Guys-
sneak in the back door.
I know, because you guys
It's
were
true.
waiting in line like a sucker. Like, what are you guys
No,
doing?
no, we bailed on the line. We were leaning
Yeah,
up
we-
against the wall.
We were just like heartbeat,
We're having
heartbeat in our
having
back.
a
Yeah.
feet seat.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't even care that I was sitting next to a trash can. All I thought was Jaren's gonna think I'm so disgusting sitting next to a trash can, and I was like, I don't even care about this.
Who cares? My feet hurt.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I would have expected that. It's Owen. I wouldn't have thought anything less
Is
than
that better or worse?
I can't decide, but I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
Going back to Samsung really quick, they fused Bixby and Google Assistant, and so it actually does more now. The AI assistant, so that's cool. It'll like take actions for with things on screen and do kind of what Apple said their AI is going to do eventually.
All right. Well, speaking of AI, we'll do two
we
more
have to.
stories and then we'll bail. That's enabled by default apparently on iOS 18.3.
Yep, that just came out. It's enabled by default.
What does
Apple
it do
has
for you?
disabled AI notification summaries for news outlets because the BBC made a big stink about it because Apple got it completely wrong. Whatever.
I saw one on Reddit where someone said they showed a friend that had messaged them. The message said, got really drunk and headed home. And then the next message said, crashed on the couch, falling asleep. And the AI thing for it said, got really drunk and crashed. It's like, that's not quite right.
You know, it's like Grammarly is like, you could be more precise. Let's cut a few words out of that. Like punctuation matters, guys. Like so do
Are you
the
a
actual
native
words.
English speaker?
So do the
Yeah.
actual words, as it turns out. You can't just. Oh.
18.3 turns it on by default, but all the notification summaries on the lock screen are italicized now, though notification summaries within apps itself are not. Don't know why the difference. But it's enabled by default. Before you had to opt in, and I think that was the right way to go because
I do too.
Can you
Apple
opt out
hasn't-
now?
You can opt out still.
Yeah.
Apple has not proven themselves yet, and frankly, it's kind of bad in many areas. It's decent in other areas, but bad in most areas. So, yeah. What do you guys think of it? Would
I
you want it
think
on
this
by
is-
default?
I
I
think
think
it should
this
be
is
opt-in
Apple.
for sure.
I think this is Apple just trying to. Only people that are in the know are going to turn it off, right? So by most people are just going to keep it on, not even knowing, and
Absolutely.
it's just going to become the new norm,
Yep.
right?
You're
You're
up- I
the
think
people
you're totally right.
and that's how they've done before, where they're just like, look, we're just going to push it, and
We're just going to remove the
people that
3.5
complain,
millimeter jack.
the people that still have the people with their own thoughts are going to turn it off for a while, but eventually those people will get weeded out, and we'll have nothing but Apple fanboys, and they'll just keep it on because it's what we want. Did they
Apple
get the
knows
data?
what
Is
you
this
need.
is this another grab for them to get data?
No, all their AI models run locally,
Yeah.
so they're not
Okay.
actually getting data, from what I
And
understand.
makes the AI models
But
not that smart.
But it definitely feels like they're just trying to get everyone used to it.
Right, just kind of like,
Yeah.
Making
look,
it the new
let's
norm.
let's throw it in there. There's going to be some splashback, but we're going to get 60% of the users that don't give a crap.
Technologically, it's actually pretty cool because their AI models are running locally on a phone that's powered by a very small
Mobile
battery.
chipset. Yeah.
Thinking about it's cool, but in practice, I don't
Does it kill battery life? Does it have an impact on
no,
it?
not that I've noticed.
No, negligible. I'd
Whatever
say.
gets my mom to stop calling me to come over to do dual screens on her single screen, I'm in.
Nope.
What?
Sorry, bud. That's forever.
Dang it.
What's a dual screen on a single screen?
It's when you take one window and then you make it into two and then you put it on one screen.
James, come help me make dual screen.
I know
on
you
my
showed
one
me.
screen.
I know you showed me this last night.
While you're here, I accidentally tipped over the garbage can and the raccoons have gotten in and I don't know what to do. I've made friends with them. Have you seen Kevin? He's kind of a dick.
He's the chubby one.
I've been feeding them for weeks. That's okay, right?
They're my new friends. They only have a little rabies.
Yeah. Only one's tried to bite me.
Freaking Greg.
All right,
great.
and last but not least, tell us about a Steam Brick.
This is a really cool GitHub project
Shouldn't this
that
be a
Wait,
arcade?
isn't this a
This is
arcade thing?
we could arcade this for sure.
Yeah, let's arcade it.
It's a gaming one.
This is a
Yeah.
gaming thing. All right, well, in that
That's
case,
good.
we're done with this episode. But before we go, big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers. Landon is not here to pimp the Patreon.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just watching more baseball. One-dimensional character.
Is that you, Morty Lando?
That's
Oh,
Morty Lando.
jeez.
Ah, jeez, Rick.
Jeez. I'm sorry. The Braves were on. You know, I love bananas.
Something. Patreon.
For $1. Just, I can do it. I can do it.
Helpdesk
I
Arcade.
can do it just for $1. For $1. For $1. You
measly dollar.
$1. You get all this cool stuff. It's really awesome. You get all this cool stuff. Okay, for $1. Okay, the price of an ice cream cone.
This is
you
uncanny.
you get a super secret Patreon. You get to have your own RSS feed. You get to have the RSS feed comes with both shows at once, and he always forgets to add the in-betweens, and it comes with the in-between, which is so awesome. I am the pimp of the in-between. I'm the in-between. To be fair, I'm going to come back here into real Owen voice. He is the creator, and I absolutely give him the props for that.
He's the in-between.
Oh,
maker,
come on,
for sure.
come on. Don't give him
He
too much
is.
credit.
There's no
he,
no other
he,
way to
he,
put it.
he pitched it to Tony, and Tony accepted it, and that was the future that we are now living in. So
Yeah,
anyway,
Tony made the decision. It's his show.
Tony, are you going to steal it from? Are you going to steal it
I
from
don't
him?
want to claim that. Nope.
Okay, then, Jen, that's enough of that. So anyway, for $1, for $1, you get all that. You get all that. You get a super secret Patreon. You get to talk to where we engage and see all sorts of funny pictures. So if you donate $1, you get all that. But if you donate $6 or more, you get to make Jaron say whatever you want. Whatever you want. You can make him say whatever you want. That's what people are paying for. Jaron, go ahead.
Big thank you and shout out to David Broshinsky, Interrupting Cow, Aaron Faulkner,
need-
Connor Keesaw, and a Twinkie Wiener Sandwich.
Yes.
There are extra special people. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Beauregard, Jason Eatman. Even my laser pecker is Onyx on Halo.
That's not.
What happened to you guys?
Hello, Govna. Be the 8-year-old cheerleader. Kyle.
Hello,
Kyle.
Governor.
Lando is the Patreon simp. What's his face? Tony the Excel and Power Apps nerd. Travis Johnson says, buy Arcade Top Desk stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. There, it's shorter. Are you happier now, Lando? Jeremy, No Name, No Color, Keslo, Eric Steinman. Eric Cruz is the best FN username there is. You are all wrong. Suck a butt, nerds.
I hope he keeps that forever.
The in-between rating, plus 25. Yo, VIP, let's kick it. Drop that 0 and get with the hero. DP, Brother Blando, Elizabeth Calsodium only wishes he was as cool as Lang. Wesley, Turd Ferguson, Stuart Lloyd, everyone has an excuse, but only the guilty use it. And finally, so-and-so.
All right. Thank you so much, Patreon backers. You are the best. Okay. We'll get that background music going. Oh, yeah. There it is.
Who's gonna end a user at this time? He's got to be you, Tony.
No, it's James. He's sitting in for Lando.
James, you
James,
gotta
you gotta
end user
take us out, man.
My favorite kind of balls are baseballs. Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Be an end user.
Right?